Hey you, it's Be the Prophet here, and I am ready to guide you through a Law of Attraction reading. Welcome and welcome back. I appreciate each and every light being joining this meeting. Follow me now in this infinite moment for a message for the collective and individuals. Set an intention for this meeting. You already know what you want the reading to clarify. You attracted this reading. I am cooperating with you. It's mutually beneficial. As I am pulling the cards, use your intuition as well. Let us know any additional connections you made in the comments below the video, and the collected will benefit from the collective intuition. This is a body, mind, and spirit message addressing the basic human needs for self-actualization, aligned with the the 9 chakras. Let's start with why Spirit has called this meeting today. Okay, I remember, I think, how the cards came out this time. I think in the last reading, I was like, oh no, I have no idea what order they came out. So then these two came out, right? This here, and this here. This here, and this here. Okay, let's go ahead and start with what we have on the table. In the position of Spirit, which is aligned with the crown chakra, it's what you're meant to understand, what Spirit would like to bring into focus for you. And we have the energy of the Page of Fire. Now, the page brings news. That is the job of the page. The news is usually optimistic, and that is what I'm getting from this card. I feel like the light is shining on the card in a way that it's obscuring your view. Anyway, the Page of Fire specifically is about enthusiasm and creativity. Fire in general is about creativity and inspiration. Pages in general are about optimism and bringing in news, and specifically the Page of Fire is about enthusiasm. So there may be an exciting opportunity in front of you. And then in the position of the mind, aligned with the Earth Star chakra, this is what you're meant to acknowledge. This is the current focus of your mind, the 5 of water. Now, I often say I really enjoy this deck. This is my favorite deck. No offense to you other decks, but this deck has a similar intention to what I would like to put out into the world as a human. It's a positive perspective in general. This 5 of water, for me, usually the 5 has to do with uncertainty, conflict, lack, all of these type of negative thoughts or emotions. But for me, this character, you can see he has 3 broken cups at his feet, but he is not focused on those broken cups. He is focused on it appears he's focused on the view. So he's taking this time to take in the view as opposed to lament over his broken cups. And that is a choice that he's making. He could, in traditional illustrations for this card, The person is looking at the broken cups. He is choosing to look at what makes him feel better in that moment. So the broken cups are available, but the view is also available. So this is what you're meant to acknowledge, that in moments when things seem to go wrong, and there are no things that go wrong. There are only things that move you forward on your path towards your manifestations. But in every moment, there could be something you could focus on that is negative and makes you feel bad. But at that same moment, there is always something to focus on that is positive and makes you feel good. And you can choose either of those real things, either of those realities is available for you to choose to focus on. I would hope, and I choose to focus on what feels better, because that brings in more of what feels better. And you can see once he's done taking in this view, as soon as he turns around, there are 2 cups waiting for him out of nowhere. 2 cups are waiting for him. Like the 2 of cups, right? So something he loves is waiting for him. And then in the position of the body, which aligns with the Gaia chakra, this is what you are meant to trust. We have the page of Earth. The page is scholarly and cheerful and dependable. So they're smart, they're upbeat, you can count on them. Sometimes they're mischievous, but you have to take risks in order to learn anything. So while that could be considered a shadow quality, it's not. It's only a shadow quality if you interpret it as a shadow quality. So you have to be willing to take risks, is the message that's coming out from this card. This is what you're meant to trust. And then clarifying that page of Earth, we have the 10 of Earth. The 10 of Earth is one of the best cards you can get in the minor arcana. It talks about financial security. So it's in the position of security, aligned with the root chakra, which is responsible for your sense of security. So this is a great card to have in that position. This card talks about financial security because it's Earth. 10s in general talk about completion, an outcome, some sort of renewal. So something either being done and leading to this feeling. In this position, the body is about how you feel, which is different from the feelings we're talking about when we're talking about water or cup cards. These are more like emotions. So how you feel in general. So we're talking about financial security for you and yours. So this is how you are feeling. Also clarifying this page of Earth, we have another Earth card. It's the 3 of Earth in the position of health. And that position aligns with the sacral chakra. So this is the creative chakra, and we have someone here who is creating. The 3 is about not only creativity, but growth and groups, and how those groups grow together in creativity. So whatever this situation is for you, whether it's has to do with health or business, financial, career, these kinds of things, money, love, whatever it is of concern to you, there's an opportunity to work in groups. Now, the 3 of Earth is talking about doing what you love, and 3s in general is about creativity, groups, and growth. So doing what you love in creativity, and having growth in the physical world. So having that feeling of growth and creativity and a sense of belonging in groups is what we're talking about here. There's also recognition with this card specifically for quality in your work and creative endeavors and being paid well, which goes along with the Ten of Pentacles, which if you just look at this person, they look successful, right? They look like they know what they're doing. They look like they have studied and they have information to share. Again, pages are about news. So you could be giving the news or you could be receiving the news. I'm getting from this card, you receiving the news or you giving the news. And from this page, I'm getting that news is coming into you. In the position of esteem, we have the Nine of Water. This position aligns with the solar plexus, and it's what you do. So the best quality and skill for the actualization. It's also clarifying this Five of Water. So the Nine of Water is about wishes coming true, and you can see in this card, I've talked about in different readings, and I talked about it a little bit in this reading. There's different things that humans concern themselves with. So we have health, we have, what is this? A heart, we have a dove, which probably is representing peace. We have the yin and yang, which is balance. We have some gemstones, so that's in the physical. We have dreams with a star. There's a scroll here, and I don't know what the scroll would stand for. We have the eagle for freedom, and we have just wings in general, which might represent growth or reaching new heights or advancements. But what about the scroll? It's funny because a scroll just like this is on the Sun card in this deck. So perhaps it represents not just your thoughts, but what your thoughts that you put momentum behind, which is if you write, if you journal about what you want, you are likely to get it. If you don't hyper focus on it, you just write it down and trust that it will be done. Later, when you go back to it, you'll find you have all the things that you wrote down. There is writing is a great way to help your manifestations move forward, especially if you only write positive things about what you want and you talk about the feelings or what you would like to feel as opposed to what you would like to see, because sometimes what you see doesn't give you the feelings that you thought, or what you experience doesn't give you the feelings that you thought you might have. So if you talk about the feelings, then you'll get the feelings. So that's what I am guided to tell you about the scroll this particular time. I feel like I had an idea in a different reading a while back of exactly what the scroll meant, but this time it's being given to me that way. So those are the things that human beings concern themselves with, and your best quality and skill, based on the example that I gave, is to make your dreams come true, and possibly through journaling. But this is a card of good fortune, an omen of good fortune ahead. Anything you desire. And then we have the Two of Air in the position of belonging which aligns with the heart chakra. So what you love, or how you create the love energy you need for the actualization. And we have the Two of Air, which represents making a decision. So being able or willing to make a decision. And so that just reminds me of what I was thinking about before I started this reading, how I've mentioned in a couple of readings that I've recently moved, and the place that I lived before, I loved it. Oh, I loved it so much. I could not see myself ever leaving. It was the perfect place for me. It had everything I wanted, plus bonus things that I didn't know I wanted until I lived in that house. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love this house. I just love that house. I never wanted to leave. And people would say, come visit me. And I'm like, oh, just, stay here in my house because I love this house. And then, we never stop wanting. That's what we're doing here. We're wanting and we're creating. So if we're not wanting, then we're not creating. And then we don't need to be here on the earthly plane, because that's what this plane is for. It's for creating. And so I continued to want things, and what I wanted was in a different place. It wasn't where I was. And I was like, oh, I did want to make the change because I didn't want to leave the house. I love that place. And I thought about it and spoke with my guides about it. We have conversations, my guides and I, which is something anybody can do. But my guide was asking me, do you not think that there is a house that is more perfect for you than this? And I'm like, I don't see how that's possible. I love this house. I love that house. And my guide wanted to impart the idea that the law of attraction, the whole universe conspires for me based on what I want in my reality. And there were plenty of places on this earth that I would feel were perfect. And I shouldn't allow myself to be held back from what I want, because this was the perfect house that, from what I felt at that time. And I wasn't allowing what I wanted next, and that would ultimately lead me to misery, is the message that I was getting. And so I had to make peace with letting that house go. Now, I found a similar house. It has almost the same aesthetics, but it's smaller. And the first thing I realized was that house was way too big. It was so big, and it was a lot of steps to get from place to place. And there were places in the house that I never went into because it was just so much. And so this house is a little smaller. It's a little cozier, more intimate for me. And all the things I had wasn't enough to fill the house. Like, there were empty places, but all those things were more than enough to fill this house. And so there are a lot of things that I have at this house that I wanted at that house, and for some reason I could never make it happen. Like small things, like I wanted to grow Thai basil in my hydroponic garden, and I looked for months and months. I could not find Thai basil anywhere. I even went to like the pho restaurants, because they give you Thai basil with the food, and they would like be out of Thai basil every time I went, and I just could not find Thai basil. But I could find basil, and I was growing an abundance of basil, and I was putting basil in lemonade, basil in food, just using the basil everywhere. And as soon as I got to my new place, I had a craving for pho, went right there, found the Thai basil, started growing it. It's growing like wild in the hydroponic garden. So I couldn't have the thing that I wanted after I got to that house. I couldn't have more in that house. Well, that's not true. I could have more, but there were some things that that house couldn't provide. I found solutions for things that were bothering me in this house, like the chair I'm sitting in. It was like not that comfortable, and I was buying all kind of pillows. I found a way to make it super comfortable. Now I'm so cozy sitting here. There's so many things that I'm finding that weren't available in that house. And so this house, you know, has a lot to live up to, but every day I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. So I'm finding that that house wasn't the perfect house for me. And so I'm still looking for the perfect house. This may be the perfect house until I want something different, and I might need to move to a different house, or maybe I'll stay here. I'd love to just settle and be in one house and you know, live a happy life there. But anyway, moving on. So being able and willing to make a decision, and we were talking about that a little bit in the previous few readings about doing the needful in order to have what you want, or be what you want, or do what you want. And then we have the Ace of Water coming in, offering a cup, the third cup from here, right? She's offering a cup. This in the position of the actualization, aligned with the throat chakra, is how you would express yourself in the actualization. So this card talks about a beautiful new emotional experience. Imagine, is what I'm being guided to give you, that you were underwater for whatever reason. Maybe you're snorkeling, maybe you're deep sea diving, maybe you're just swimming. And then you see this mermaid come up to you with this cup. How would you feel? And here's a dolphin in the background. How would you feel? This is what I'm talking about. A new level of joy, a new level of happy, a new level of awe in the universe, and how much love is available to you. Let's see if we can get words of wisdom from Spirit from this deck. The words of wisdom are journey within. And for me, and in the guidebook as well. But as soon as I saw this card, what I thought was that journey within is the opposite of journey without. So go with your guides, go with Spirit, listen to them, listen out for them. They are helping you all the time. If you explicitly ask for their help, they will make themselves more obvious. They don't want to scare you. They don't want you to be upset. So they're not going to do things that are upsetting to you to reveal themselves, but they will help in as much as you will allow them to help. They will speak directly to you if you allow it, if you're not afraid to sound crazy. They will talk to you directly. So journey within, with your inner being, not without, within your spirit. Go on your journey inside with your spirit all around you, listening out, looking for the signs and signals that your spirit is trying to communicate with you in the best way that you will allow it. I was thinking about how, my spirit talks to me directly. We have conversations back and forth. I've already said that. I'm not afraid to sound crazy. I've practiced that. It's not something that it's something that I've always been able to do, but I didn't know that that's what I was doing until, I did. But wait a second. I was going to make a point and it just flew out. So I guess my spirit doesn't want me to make that point. Yep, because it's not coming back. Anyway, if it comes back before I end the reading, then you'll get it. But if not, it's not meant for you right now. In the position of the answer, which aligns with the intuitive or the barail chakra, we have the card of justice. And it's interesting because I was talking about before in a reading about how these readings seem connected. They seem to be unfolding as the next part, the next step kind of thing with similar theme. These two cards have come out. I was talking about in the last reading about how the cards kept being the same for the last 3 readings, but in different positions. And there was only one card that I talked about I've rarely seen, and it was here. And now all of these cards are cards that are new, because I was saying in this deck with 78 cards, we could potentially get a completely different set of cards for a number of readings, but the cards come back because we're moving along with minor arcana, and then the major arcana is talking about something that will be in play for a longer time. So I have been talking about for the last 3 readings the Justice card. Oh no, the Justice card has come out. What was the card that I was talking about? Oh, that was the Judgment card. Never mind. The Justice card, though, in the position of the answer, is what you're meant to see or what you're meant to understand or learn. Not understand, learn. So the Justice card is about being impartial and objective. But I'm struck by, I was watching someone else's reading, and I can't remember who right now, and she was talking about being at the gate, or being at the gate? Somewhere where you're supposed to weigh your heart, and it needs to be light for you to go through. Being at the gate, I think it was. And so this card is reminding me of what she was talking about. You need to weigh your heart, and it needs to be lighter than the feather. This is what she was talking about. And I've never really understood why there was a feather and a light on the scales and they were balancing out. But in this depiction, the heart is slightly heavier than the feather. I don't know if you can see that. Just a tiny bit down. So it's asking you to be impartial. You're meant to learn to be impartial and to be objective while still standing up for what you believe. So how can you do that? How can you be impartial? How can you be objective and still stand up for what you believe? You can stand up for what you believe, but other people do not have to believe what you believe, and what they believe is right for them. And you have to be able to let them. If you can find a happy medium where it's a win-win and both parties get what they want inside of what they believe in, then, you're golden. But you're meant to learn to remain partial and objective while standing up for what you believe in. That's what I have for now. Take this message however it resonates for you. Look forward to the components of this message showing up in the coming hours, days, and weeks in different ways. That's just how the law of attraction works. Until next time, remember, you and you alone create your reality. Enjoy.